down, help his mate while hoping nobody tried to rush them up from upwards. G-Lab, on the other hand, still a bit occupied towards Harame Bro right now. At least West Point Mamba can have a bit of a revive, but Dale taking on Skadi and 2 Pro at the same time with that explosion.
Nice defense there coming from the pros as MM shoots on the other side. Newbie! Vehicle exploder knocks him down. MM comes in for the back, saves his teammate, and that's how Game Lab stories end.
But you have to give credit for Dale. He just holding the ground for himself. But here comes the time. West Point Mamba trying to take the opportunity in the matter of their hands there. Making sure that Bro have no time to reset while Mix is relaying all the information from the back line. Michi now coming up from the flank side. Few already cooking up the nade. Here comes opening the door. Michi not going on straight because he knows for a fact they might be greeted by the side of the hand grenades. Mix with the DBS. Jumping down. Toss over that molly just to make sure everything is clear. Every corner is being checked. Michi will try to guard over towards the entrance as well. Trying to find anybody around the corner. But couldn't spot anybody at this point. But Few still barely hanging on inside of that corner right now.
Oh, Few. MM is down. Few is all alone. 1v4 with every corner pretty much surrounded. I mean, there's nothing much he can do unless he can clutch this out. Okay, let's see if he can actually do it. But looks like starts off with 1, but the DBS comes in, and that's it.
Mix know exactly where he stands just now, the way he plays it. We do have Harame Bro, valiant effort with 3 scores in the back. And G-Lab scored himself 2. On the side of Falcon, on the other hand, reposition. But G is waiting at the other end. There's going to be the last player of GE. Zai. Chun Lone a bit busy and occupy himself to the side of Enigma. He's the front line for the team, trying to place himself. Get at least 1 knockdown, but he's being knocked instead by Cooper. And Cooper holding on the fort by himself. And the support fire coming up from Goblin. Managed to knock down on Cooper. Might actually just finish him off. QB is just too far to give a support fire. D2Y rejoining the rest of Falcon from afar. But will be a bit too late now as D2Y barely make it in, but they are fleeing and might just jump straight into Sin's face.
Oh, here we go. Sin, can they defend this area? Goblin's vehicle smoked up though, so gotta be careful there. Sin quite spread out. FV gotta get away, but FV knocked down. Can D2Y finish off the job? No, not yet. But there is a counter on the D2Y's D2Y knocked down. Davan for KE knocked down as well. Looks like KE and West Point Mamba busy with each other.
For Falcon, say Cloud can revive on D2Y for now while having a bit of barricade with that monster truck. Goblin smoke up buggy. That's not where you want to land yourself in the next vehicle. But he got himself a compound, get himself a couple of loot, maybe a bit of a reset, and try to comprehend what is happening around them right now. And D2Y going on foot, but YG will rush straight into West Point Mamba while PBE going on the high ground, but shot down by FOD. Raimon on his knees while Cute Loki tried to rush into the side of West Point Mamba. Got 1 knockdown right now. Magna taking a fight against TGOA, and they are fighting back at the same time. But the side of YG trying to force and flush them out with those nades, hoping to get on 1. But it's so hard to land those shots. Loki make it happen.
Wow, who sent out the invite to this house? Everyone is here as YG comes in. Romeo Boy goes in. West Point Mamba is eliminated. This house is basically a slaughterhouse for these teams. The circle moved towards the right. HWG is in the circle. They have the advantage now. But look on the south side too. Look at the amount of teams in the same area.
TGOA fought against Magna, now against APG, and next maybe even also Esport, who happen to be their attention on side of PBE. PBE scattered about because of how the disruption of their formation being interrupted by FOD and YG at the same time on the southern side. Whilst GE Zai left quite far from the side of the circle, but Magna not done yet with TGOA. They have been fighting for a long time between these two teams.
Oh, for the longest time. But this could be the moment for Magna though to win this fight. But I'm willing that there's another team coming in. It's going to be APG joining on the party as well. Everyone wants a piece of this compound. As right now APG is on the other side. Magna only 2 left. APG still with the full squad. The smoke is buying time for Magna to reset. Toki needs to heal up. As APG exit, cooking up the nade. He will toss on to the other room. But that nade will not land to anyone. Nobody's on the other room, but Toki will be gunned down by Shroud. Only left with Mao.
Marcos trying to find any way possible to spot the player. Last one coming up from GE as well, who's coming up very late by APG. They're confused in the smoke, but at least they know which one is their rival, which one their teammate. They spotted out the last player of APG just now. Never mind. Aljayi spot now going against PBE. HWG still quietly at the sidelines, but FOD starts to move as well. But PBE, they have to take this fight regardless of how they want to avoid it. They can't. And Astro Axe dropping a big one on Monboy. They will fight back as Skynet shooting down on Monboy at the same time. A bit of a trading done, but PBE left with only 2 players. They scored 2 right now, but Aljayi spots, they still have a full squad. But FOD trying to be the third party, now park themselves, pull over towards the side between these 2 teams.
Wow, it's just fight after fight after fight here. PBE in the building. Austria Esports on the outside. But there's another team shooting onto them from the other side. I believe it's Younger Galacticos. Younger Galacticos may want to crash in to get those elimination points right now. They're waiting for the right moment. Okay, they're making the circle. They're rotating in and crashing into the compound. Loki will lead the charge.
YG trying to be the cleanup crew for this one. Loki knock on his knees, but where the shots coming out from Astro Axe have been clutching this for a long time. Team per team, one by one, willingly giving their bodies towards the side of YG. And Astro Axe just replies as well. Romeo Boy reviving and picking up with their teammate. FOD is here as well. This is another slaughterhouse. What we're talking about. Mass players going straight into this compound, sharing the same fate. PBE cool now have to go towards 2 sides against FOD and YG at the same time. Nang just jumped out from that monster truck, realized that, you know what, we cannot flee, we have to take this fight anyway. Now pop up a couple of smoke grenades, hoping he can actually jump straight into YG's compound right now, right across them. But FOD Joseph will be the bane for these teams. If they're not being careful, they'll be shot down from afar.
Oh, and this compound is still within the stage 5 circle, meaning that the fight will continue on. FOD right now, 3 elimination points. Just look at the circle. HWG has the circle. But right now, this fight needs to end before the next phase, whereby likely the circle might move away from this compound. Now with an 8 in hand, Nang will toss it out. Nope, he will not. He will keep it back. He'll wait for the right moment. He still has an 8 in hand though. I think he's trying to find the rest of the members of YG, but they're on the other side.
But for the side of HWG, they got themselves a vintage point, taking reign over it. They're splitting themselves into 1-1-1-1 on 4 different mountains. Trying to wait for these teams to settle down their brawl and just waiting for the right time to open fire. But FOD Nang tried to get himself the corners that he need to get those picked against YG. But PBE kind of sandwiched between 2. Joseph is too close for comfort on side of PBE. PBE is fighting back. Joseph on the ground. This way he tried to do one-man clutch on the side of Cool. FOD back towards the side of YG, trying to fight them head on, but Sin is there as well.
Oh, Cool became the kingmaker right now. Now FOD only down to Nang X, the last man standing. Going up against the entire Younger Galactico squad, who's on the other building. Now they're getting closer and closer. They want to finish up the job. They have an 8 in hand. Oh, they're waiting for Nang X to come. John still trying to crawl his way to his teammate, but the long range with a UMP from Nang X. That will buy time for his teammate John to be picked up.
Lucky enough, YG is a bit too busy with all the fires shots onto them. The HWG now shooting from afar as well. They got those high grounds. They can see exactly where they're running. FOD Nang barely make it into this compound, but it's just open field. Sin can see them from afar, and they're just taking the advantage of this distance. And being the third party as well, getting their hands clean with somebody else doing the dirty job. On the HWG side, we see them through, but FOD, there's nowhere to run nor hide.
Oof, long range here. Okay, can he get a knockdown to HWG? But even if he can, probably will be revived anyway. 1 minute before the zone closes entirely, and Sin is just waiting patiently on the other side. But John, still alive, the last man for FOD, 5 of danger. But I worry for them because on the other side, HWG seems to be interested.
Marnet slowly treading on thin ice for YG. They don't have those high grounds, while Sin and HWG are watching them as close as they can, even though they have those high grounds and distance between them. But they got a clear view from those high vintage points, and Romeo Boy and YG, how to get away from their grasp, how to get out from here. It feels like they're walking straight into the trap if they're just staying here for a bit longer, because the circle will shrink in less than 10 seconds. They have to make an exit out of here. Do they have any vehicles that still can run? Feels like they have none for now.
Yeah, not sure. Okay, there's a smoked up UAZ, but then again, smoked up we know is dangerous. As HWG, they're looking. So even if they come up with the UAZ, if they come up from the wrong side, HWG can blow it up and they'll be happy to take the point. Right now, team still locked in, but the circle, a little bit more advantage for HWG.
And looking at Zai still surviving, not trying to attract unwanted attention. Do have Sin. Kalo can see Yahiko at this point as well. Alpha 7 trying to make sure there's nobody following him from behind, making sure everything is clear before them making them taking dominant over. The YG is just too close to a side of HWG, but Sin is across that street. They do have the high grounds and even the circle still, but Falcon stuck themselves in a valley. Enigma might actually backstep HWG Alpha if it's not being careful. While the rest of the team start to rotate themselves towards the YG side, if Alpha were being surprised and will be surprised by Enigma, that's going to be tough for the side of HWG. They need that watchman to stay alive a bit longer.
Ooh, okay. There's someone behind them though. Someone behind Sin on their left side, which I'm not sure if they know of though. But okay, I think what will be the more interesting part will be, what will Young Galacticos do? HWG, they're basically gatekeeping Young Galacticos. Okay, they have a buggy. They're on the move right now. 2 buggies in fact. And now they're moving. Okay, Yaka's all alone. I think he'll take that shot. It'll happen anytime soon.
Yaka holding the ground for himself, and by himself he got 2 of YG knocked down. He still can't survive. He clutched it by himself while Romeo Boy finally shutting him down. Mewtwo finally here to help, but he cannot even push a bullet out. Being shot from behind and afar. It's gonna be Sin. HWG, they leave their comfort spot to be in this kerfuffle. Will it be worth it now? Down to Yahiko to make the play. YG still left with 2 players. They make so much work by Yaka alone, but Yaka finally being sacrificed for the sake of a team. But Yahiko, can he do this job well done? As Sin not willing to give away the high ground, Yahiko now in the shack. Same goes for YG, but Alpha spotted out Loki. Now trying to hope it will be a Kirby right on top. Loki didn't chip any damage off from that explosion.
Oh, HWG, if only Sin wasn't there, they would have crashed it with the full squad. But because Sin is there, Sin is getting closer and closer. If you look at the minimap, HWG trying to find a different angle of the Young Galacticos, but because of the smoke, they don't have a good visual. Yahiko knocked down. Now only Alpha left.
Romeo Boy left for YG. Sin more even pushed down as well, trying to finish off the job here. Trying to decimate and just put YG out from the equation. As Sin is taking the advantage. They might actually score this chicken. I'm not surprised. 7 eliminations just from the high grounds. Taking advantage while they can. Romeo Boy finally being finished off. YG bowing out at 6th place, leaving GE, who got surprise attack in the first few minutes into the game, still surviving and plays himself at ranking points on the 5th place. GE and HWG, surprisingly HWG got themselves that compound, but they have to leave. The moment they climb down, that's where they're being shut down at the same time. But Falcon realized they're sharing the same place with Sin, while Sin still have so much space to play with. They got the high grounds, they got the most preferable conditions to win this chicken. All they need to do is just having the team comms to focus on whatever angle they're focusing on right now. Even Falcon having a bit of a problem against Sin.
Yeah, everyone else is below Sin right now. And Sin, they could finish off Falcon. Okay, Nate, no, not on the hands of FV, but maybe his teammate. So we need to wait for that. But Falcon, time bought by Sin. Blue will come and pressure Falcon anytime soon. Falcon, How are they going to get out of this now that Sin is overlooking them? The moment they try to move again, Sin will shoot them.
Sin, they're definitely number 1 spot right now, taking over YG with 8 eliminations. Last time we saw them, it's a 10-point gap, but Sin taking on every single team down there. And they are doing this without breaking any sweat, but the problem with them right now is their ammunition. The resources are running low. One of their guns is empty. QB on the other hand and Caps have to deal with Falcon before they can even deal with Sin. HWG still have Alpha on the other end. That's going to be their main fragger on that side. But where is Zai? GE Zai still taking a small shack. Well, we do have Caps dropping on one big nade to the side of one of the players. But Caps trying to shut down on HWG. Close enough. It's going to be Alpha. Caps going ring around Rosie and trying to toss this nade. But it's going to be off angle here. Alpha is just 2 HP left. Managed to have a reset. Enigma 1 knockdown. They will pick themselves back up to the feet. But Alpha 7 on the other hand. You have to just be kidding me right now. Took them so long to shut down this one particular guy from HWG.
Oh man, Alpha, such a survivor. But he hasn't got himself any elimination points perhaps now. But no, denied by Enigma from the other side. So now we're down to the top 3 teams. Zai, can he defend this? Make that top 2. And it's going to be Sin happily collecting that elimination point. Sin still a full score after FV's revive. Enigma 3. Could it be Sin? Double chicken dinner. And we're only in day 1.
I'm not surprised. Look at where they stand right now. They have the compound, they have the walls, they have a lot of covers. Compared to the side of Enigma, in open space, but at least those terrain will help them for a bit much longer. But at the same time, QB shot down more from afar. They don't have any sort of troubles for now, but those SLR make it work for QB.
Okay, managed to even up the odds right now, 3v3. But I guess both teams, they still wait for the circle. But now that Caps knocked down Holy Logic, this could be the moment for Enigma to get across. By Enigma, I don't think they have a vehicle, but because of this kind of angle, okay, from our view, it does look like Enigma has a good angle to actually get across. Nate will be tossed out, and now at the same time, Holy Legend will be picked up, so they will be back 3v3.
Enigma trying to spreading out the formation, going for a 1-3-1-1-1, surrounding the compound of Sin right now. Hoping it will be a clutch for them against the number, but at least it's equal out the odds with 1 knockdown just now, with Moy being finished off. Sin down to 3. Equal fair ground for both teams. But AFV do have the high spot. They do have this rooftop taken over by AFV. But at the same time, the circle will shrink. Now there's going to be no more circle left for these guys. Enigma have to push forward, like it or not. But if Sin's side being finished off by the blue zone first, they have to get out of it.
Yeah, this will be the finale, ladies and gentlemen. But Sin is surrounded by Enigma. Look at Enigma's cover. Even up on the high ground on the other side of the road, there's one player from Enigma. So Sin needs to be able to pick them off quick. But if they don't, Enigma is just going to close in onto Sin. And now Enigma pretty much have all angles covered. The Holy Legend tries to get away. Spooky sees him. Spooky, will he pull the trigger? Spooky not pulling the trigger yet. Discipline. But then on the high ground on the other side, looks like Spooky finally pulled the trigger and FV punishes him.
Looks like Caps down first. QB might be next. Holy Legend just drives straight into the side of Enigma. One more player down. Sin! What a play with double-digit eliminations. They definitely in number 1 spot right now, especially with this chicken dinner.
For sure, number 1 goes to Sin main team for now, but it was a nice ending. They were surrounded, but look at their proactiveness of coming out. The moment they got that 1 knockdown to Spooky, they know it's like, okay, just focus on the one direction, come up, and at the end of the day, it was Holy Laju with that jump shot beautifully executed. Sin, the first team, and we're only day number 1, getting 2 chicken dinners back to back.
In a 2 different map. My oh my, Sin, what a discipline. And not just that, it was a tough one to get out from those compound just now to fight against Enigma, but it took the courage to get out anyway. But Moy with 1000 over damage, 6 eliminations. He did so much work for the team by himself.
Man, Moy, 1,000 over damage. He's been doing a lot of work there. And Sin, wow, I mean, great positioning, right? They started off on the high ground when everyone else was like at the compound and they were just like looking. If anyone makes a mistake, anyone shows themselves, exposes themselves, Sin will be there to shoot them. And that's how they get the advantage of the first few elimination points. And Sin, if you kind of look at it, one of the least throwables used in a round, but still got the chicken dinner.
And they're playing super smart. I mean, like, they are in the compound. They got themselves quite a comfy spot, a sweet spot to take covers. They were on the high grounds before and nobody challenging them. But HWG, they had the high spot. They were in the position where they can farm kills. But the problem is, the fight were too far. The fights were just everywhere and they can't have a vision on top of it. So they have to go down by the end of the day. But speaking of this round itself, I feel like especially GE a big question mark. Something is so wrong with this team right now when it comes to grand final. I don't know what's happening on their end, but this is supposed to be their main map for GE. But for the others though, Sen especially, who would have thought they are the first to have a back-to-back chicken dinner and a huge volume of eliminations as well.
Yeah, definitely more than 10 eliminations in total after that finish. We get a confirmation soon, but holy legend, look at this. Beautifully executed jump shot just to get that chicken dinner for Sin. 13 eliminations for them, bringing them up to 23 total points. Enigma 11, YG 11, HWG 10. But on the other end, I'm looking for... Wait, where is GE? Okay, GE got 5 at least, but still... Ouch.
They're playing position points due to only Zai remaining as a last survival member for GE, but keep an eye out for HWG and YG as well as Sin right now because they have been consistently getting themselves in top 5 every single map. And it just shows them portrayed over this side as well. YG still taking number 1 spot, surprisingly.
Yeah, what? Man, both of us thought that, okay, Sin would be number 1 after the double chicken dinner back-to-back, but okay, 8 points difference now we're talking about, right? Pushing HWG down to 87 and to 3rd place with 87 points, so everyone's pretty close enough at the top. But after HWG West Point Mamba, we start to see a 19-point gap already.
I'm still confused for the first, second place, honestly speaking. Right? I mean, like, are you not confused? Because we definitely feels like they have more than that. But you know what? I'm gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, like, for HWG, Sin and YG, today has been their day. We have to agree on that because Harami Bro did actually make a good entrance, but it's just they have a bit of a hot and cold round, right? But for Sin though, they have 2 different map of chicken, not really back to back, but HWG in between. But it's still 2 chickens in the day. That's huge. And a lot of these teams are, except for you got yourself a jackpot, Cloud, for your prediction. But for me, none of the teams that I predicted are here. Maybe that's one of the many reasons why they don't get chicken for today, right?
Yeah, the caster's curse, right? Aha! Gotcha.
It's on me today. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna rub it off. You got one more round to rub it off, right? So the teams will need to do the business for you to not be labeled as the caster's curse. But anyway, Sin. Wow, I mean, what a day it's been for them. Day 1 so far, and we still have one more round to go, meaning that maybe, just maybe, Sin will be number 1 at the other day.
I don't know. I feel like they're already number 1 just now. I still cannot get over it because we were calculating just now with 10 points of difference. But still, YG maintained consistency, getting themselves still double-digit points in the last map. Maybe that's the reason why. But speaking of YG, HWG, and also coming out from the side of Sin, these 3 teams right now are the top-tier teams. They're starting off the league where they're nowhere up there. I mean, like, except for YG. YG starting off with 3rd place at 36 points. But talking about Sin, starting off the day, they were in 6th place, and HWG were way down there, 9th place. But now they're in the top 3. What happened to teams that are supposed to be, you know, dominant over the league? We're talking about GE, Ultra Esports. KE is pretty still okay. I think KE is pretty okay.
Yeah, except for that Miramar round where they were the only team to not get a single point. But other than that, they were fine, right? I guess the biggest drop so far is GE. I think that's pretty obvious right now. They are still in page 1 though, but it's all about the point gap, right? Like between them and also that number 1, I think is quite significant right now. It definitely will take more than one round for them to get back onto number 1, and even so, they have to hope for the teams up there to not perform. But the fact is that the teams up there are consistently performing, and Sin, like what you said, it seems to be, well, they're on a nice escalation now, a nice rise.
I agree, and not just that. Speaking of which, is it a bit too long for the break for these guys? Like the one that's supposed to be up there, and including Ozja Esports and West Point Mumbai, supposedly will be one of the top teams in the World Cup. But maybe this is a change of era now we have in these grand finals, because that's what happened in last season, right? But speaking of which, I'm surprised it turned out like this. But maybe they're just warming up in the first day. But we do have 6 maps per day. We have 12 more maps to go tomorrow and the day after. Also a huge announcement on Sunday for PMSR. I don't know what is going to happen during PMSR. We have to wait until Sunday. But for the teams that didn't gain that much point for today, they should be worried by now, because not going to be a league anymore.
Yeah, it's not a league. We only got, like, after this round, we only got 2 more days, which is 12 more games. Man, it's hard. But you know what else I want to see besides, like, some of the teams that we talk about, right? Is that I do hope, because we have enough games, right? I do hope to see every team getting a chicken dinner. Every team. Even like TGOA, even like Magna, even like the bottom teams. Come on, every team. Can we get that kind of record? That'll be nice.
I mean, there's only one more spot. If another team getting a back-to-back chicken or a double chicken in a day, then that's going to be the opportunity for every single team to get a chicken already down the drain, because we have 18 maps in total, right?
Yeah.
So Sin just got himself a back 2 chickens in a day. So that's like 13 spots left.
Basically, there's
for
2.
Every single.
There's 2 extra.
Yeah, 2 extra. There's only 2 extras. So far, 1 is being used by Sin. And there's going to be another one. And if we have another one after this, and if some team got themselves a triple chicken, then that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Or another repeat, whichever, right? As long as we know in our head, it's like there's 2 extra. So, but well, we'll see in the next round if we do get a new chicken dinner. Maybe GE finally living up to their stats, you know. I mean,
I don't want to bet on it anymore, because it feels bad. I feel like I'm doing the curse for them. That's why I don't like predictions as much, right? Because we feel like we're partly responsible if they are not performing that day. I mean, like, you know how it feels sometimes.
Yeah, it's on you now. Okay, unless they can get a chicken dinner after this. Oh, okay. Well, we'll hold on to that. We'll hold on to that for one more round at least. All right, until the game is over, there's still opportunity. All right, just putting it out there.
But hey, surprisingly, the Philippines rising up to the occasion when it comes to the grand finals. I feel like they have been hiding their best strategy and tactics just for the grand finals. That's why they've been downplaying during the league itself. You know, you just need to get into the grand finals. That's it. That's what the league is about. And when it really matters, like the grand finals, this is where they put out all the best cards, especially the Philippine teams right now.
Yeah, so far they are doing so well. But speaking about, like, if you group by region, right, the Cambodian teams so far no chicken dinner yet. And Cambodia during the league stages still doing fine in general, I'm talking about. So it's a surprise to see there are no Cambodian teams with the chicken dinner yet. But who knows, that fate could change in our last round for today. Head back onto Miramar.
Last map of day 1 in the grand final commences as we walk straight into the dry lands of Miramar one last time. But the flight path this time is very different from the last one. We're coming out from La Cabrera down to Puerto Paraíso and around Impala. And it's always about the circle, you know, accommodate with the circle and the flight path. If it happens to be around Chimasera circle, that's going to be a long journey for these guys.
Yeah, and going to be very challenging for our guys as well. But of course, we like challenging circles. We got close to an Impala, so I'm kind of happy. It's our Miramar. It's like do kind of like Impala circles. But if we can get like a Minas del Sur again, I remember last season, Minas del Sur, I remember it was that time was FB in the grand finals, and then they were in the Los Higos Minas del Sur island first, but they failed to defend. So there was kind of like a plot twist there for the team that went through first. So hopefully we get to see a repeat again and see what kind of plot twist will be served this time around.
Yeah, I think I was with you that game.
Yeah.
That we did have that one Minas del Sur. That's the one-time thing, right? There's only once in a lifetime opportunity, like how we saw Zaki early on. But we do have Monte Nuevo as high chance of a circle will be in the next one. Crater Fields, we do have a couple of teams, including YG, passing by it, and a lot of teams dropping quite early on the northern side. So a lot of them are very near or even inside of a circle from the start. Now, speaking of the start, we did have a very tragic start for GE. I don't want to remember that, but it just kept playing in my mind about how 1v3 failed terribly in that round just now.
Yeah, I guess with that kind of start, I would expect that for GE to be playing a little bit more passive this time, you know, because of confidence, right? And it's the last game of the day. You don't want to like repeat that sort of thing, that sort of disaster again, and then you have to go to sleep with it and try to come back again tomorrow. You will spend like maybe at least the next 12 hours thinking about that. So I think this time around we may see a more passive GE gameplay.
I just hope it's not more passive, because passive didn't work well for them for the entire day. We only get to see the League GE again, but maybe because of the change of a strat for the other teams, make it so hard and difficult for these teams happen to be up there, including Ozja Esports even. Not even having a breakthrough for day one grand finals because of a change of all the other teams' dynamic, even their playstyle. Making such a ripple effect for the other teams that supposedly should be up there. Well, coming up from West Point Mumba, I'm not surprised they are scattering in the map right now, because as the start looting phase is always, you are your own person, you are your own man, you have to survive by yourself while trying to find vehicles. But TGOA do have two players going straight into Michi, and they start to open fire. That's going to be first contact with West Point Mama Miki versus two players of TGOA, and at least for TGOA, this round is going to be a good start for them.
Yeah, first blood. Finally, we see something positive for the guys of Asia. Now 15 points in total, and they managed to get a point onto one of the performing teams as well, West Point Mamba. But now that I think about it, right, I noticed that West Point Mamba, every time, I think there were a lot of times where as a start, they always lose one player.
Well, I hope at least tomorrow we're going to have a full squad working out until the end for West Point Mamba then. A lot of case of day one grand finals, I feel like they're still adjusting and trying to familiarize the rotations of all the other teams out there. Even though it's just going to be fixed 16 teams, but we do have a very harmonious start when it comes to Wrangle, right? But in case of Mirama, it's a very different story. A lot of players been picked off one by one. But for the side of FOD, they've been pushed down to 9th place. Things has not been great for them. I mean, like, yeah, if you want to see, like, they're still in the first page, but look at the gap in between. By the end of the day, if YG maintain this, they can break the 100 marks anytime now. Just 2 points different. That's it. 2 points away. And Sin, I'm not surprised by the end of the day, they still can get number one. Even HWG at this point, because the gap between the 3rd and 4th is quite a big gap still. But first top 3, not so much.
Yeah, so far looking good for the top 3. I want to say like number 4 can catch up, but West Point Mobile happened to lose one player, and then it's like, okay. But anyway, 3 players. We've seen other teams like Sin before, early on, 3 players, still able to do it, still able to get the chicken dinner. So I'm not going to discount West Point Mobile just yet. It's just a matter of the point gap now is 20 points, and if I were to like kind of average it, like in a round you can get like 20 points maybe. If you do really, really well, then considering that YG also adds points, that I don't think they will be able to catch number 1. But even for them to catch like the 100 point mark, nah.
What a turn of events when it comes to the grand finals. Everything go really crazy, right? It's so unpredictable, including this buggy. Happened to be moving by itself. And West, he injured himself climbing down the hill. Surprisingly, I don't know what he's trying to achieve here. Maybe he was trying to get back up on his buggy, but it's just he's slipping down instead. And West Point Mamba, on the other hand, spreading out wide between themselves just to find a bit more looting. Because we saw just now, there's not many throwables in the last map, right? There's not too much that they can survive that long. But they're definitely being attacked by somebody for West Point Mamba. Because one, we saw how Michi being eliminated just now. But the smoke up buggy have a lot of question mark on top of it. Because we've been shooting them from afar. How come the buggy is being smoked up? But GE Lab happened to be sharing the same fate as West Point Mamba. And 2 Pro, at least he got himself some support fire at the back line.
Ooh, okay, so remember KE, their first Erangel, so their first Miramar didn't get a single point. Not sure their confidence level of really trying to win this fight just yet. I guess they'll be happy with where they are right now since we're still at stage 1. Game Lab not having the best of days as well. So I think it's kind of like, okay, you same, I same, kind of like a truce here. That's why we don't see really G Lab, even like 2 Pro, over peaking out. He's like taking it slow and steady, just getting information and not pulling those shots.
A bit quiet before the storm. HWG taking the blue zone instead. It made me question where will be the next circle. A lot of teams not willing to give away any sort of information towards the others. Playing a bit more safer. They know for a fact this is going to be the last map of the day. But the moment House break loose, it's going to be a mess. You saw it just now in the second or third stage. Where everybody start to navigate themselves to adapt to the circle. That's where all hell break loose. And everything is just happen to be jumbled up together for their crossfire. The battlefield is going to be a mess. But FOD on the other hand, Joseph. You know, Joseph, I cannot stop saying his name like, you know, Joseph. Like the Filipino. You remember Joe Coy, right?
Yeah.
One of his joke. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how it will be pronounced even in the Philippines. Joseph.
Yeah. Joseph, where you going now?
Wow. Okay. That's kind of legit. Oh. Okay. I'm kind of excited for this because the circle is like pulled towards the left and look at the colors, the harmony colors around.
HWG.
It's going to be. I think we will see something like what happened before. Like there will be one compound that a lot of teams will be again very interested.
The thing is, HWG taking such a long rotation, coming up from all the way on the southern side. I think they're trying to compound hopping at the same time, finding their looting, like throwables, any utilities they can actually find. But I'm not sure if they have enough time on the side of West Point Mamba for the rallies. In this case, fighting at Osja Esport, one of 2 best players of each respective team happen to be having a duel. And Mix, you know what, he's just gonna flee out. He's like, nope, never mind. I'm sorry, bro, but I cannot save you. There's just too many people, and they already lost 2 players as a start for West Point Mamba. And it's Osja Esports on the other end. You do know how the firepower coming up from Osja Esports. They are incredibly scary.
Yeah, and still with a smoked up buggy, so not in the best of situations. At least he's in the circle, so that's the good news. But if the circle moves away, then I wonder how they will rotate. If they want to share a vehicle, we've seen that time and time again. Like, it's everyone on the same vehicle. It's always bad news.
Speaking of sardine can, hopefully that's not the case. G-Lab taking a fight from a very long fight against those Esports who just busy themselves with West Point Mamba early on. The 2 Pro got a bit of a reset, left with only 1 first aid. Falcon now taking a fight against Sin, Kayla on the ground, and finish off by Chunlone in an instant. But Falcon, here we go. Finally we get to see a bit of a glimpse of what's happening. Sin will actually go for this engage and take the blue zone in. And welcoming with an open hand and open arms. But GE now starting to fight. Finally, we're looking at GE alive and well for once.
Yeah, and they managed to get a knock onto Kaya and Boyshon. Both eliminated by GE, so they're 2 points. Whew. They would have liked these points. And now GE still with the high ground, keeping eye on the KE. KE knowing that there's someone above them, they're like, okay, we can't come out at all right now. The moment they show themselves, KE will be ready to shoot them down. So they just need to hold on. But the thing is that if KE chooses to charge in and crash into their compound, I think KE, of course, they will definitely have the numbers advantage.
GE do have the high grounds. They see whatever that's going down there, and Falcon been finishing off Sin. Now GE Master Ichi is a bit itchy. He wants to get himself on ground experience, climbing down their high grounds, and West still taking those vintage points. Definitely a lot of information you can actually get from here, because West, if he actually move forward for a tiny bit, you can see PBE down there. Even Master Smart can spot out KE. They are in the center of everybody else right now for GE. But the thing is, you can see the confidence in GE for today is not so great. The moment they pull back that far from the edge of the cliff, they don't want to overpick themselves too much. FOD, on the other hand, heard the audio cue coming up from HWG, but couldn't have a bit of a vision onto it. No visualization onto his HWG. But FOD, what is he doing? Easy. Hello.
Counting the stones.
Yeah, feels like he's counting the stones. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Like for real, right? I don't know. I'm just theorizing. Right? He put down his phone. He went to the bathroom. That's why like the gyro is like facing down.
That's gonna be the worst time possible for him to go to the bathroom. He's being surrounded by so many teams right now.
I know, right? It's like bathroom. He's like contemplating like bathroom, teams, bathroom teams, bathroom teams. Wait, bathroom. Okay, yeah.
Nature calls.
Yeah.
Nature calls is so powerful. Can disrupt anything that you're doing right now. In this case, lucky enough for the side of FOD, HWG decided to make a bit of a U-turn and go towards APG instead. And they try to climb up these high grounds. We know this is one of the most famous high grounds they want to take, right? But the thing is, to climb up there, if you're not the first one up there, you'll be shot down instead.
Okay, here we go. Shots fired out by Mewtwo, fending off APG. APG has a good spread as well. They have someone on the high ground. Oh, Sonic has a nade. Okay, Mewtwo needs to relocate. The nade might be tossed onto his side. There you go. But it will not really take down anyone. So it's more like a warning nade. HWG focusing onto the circle because they're on the outside of it and gets away.
HWG take the longest rotation that is from all the way to Minas del Sur up to us around this area right now, cutting across and might clash into Falcon. They happen to be in the same compound as well. Mewtwo make a big U-turn. Nope, you don't want to be here. But HWG, they have to take the fight either way. Sin on the other end. But HWG, can they part ways in the nick of time? Yeah, he could just happen to be passing by unscathed, still alive, while Alpha knocked down on his knee.